Hello, I'm Gareth Walker and I'm here for the West Yorkshire Football Show with a little bit of a roundup on Bradford City's transfer window so far. I thought it was worth doing a little video just because City have been quite busy over the last week or so, and I wanted to give my thoughts on the departures, the arrivals, the rumoured departures and arrivals. As the window's about halfway through now, I want to start with departures and I want to start with Andy Cook. What an absolute legend. One of my favourite players following City. Been going to City for 30 odd years now and he's still one of my favourite players. I'm sad to see him go. From a club point of view, I'm not sure it makes sense just because I think he provides us with another option. He's the best goal scorer we have at the club, in my opinion. Still is. And I just think that although he doesn't fit into the pressing style that we have, I think he would have been ideal as an option to change things up, come off the bench at times. I think he'd done well when he played against Rotherham, changed the game earlier in the season, scored goals obviously against Grimsby and Newcastle. I think he'd done reasonably well when he played. I don't think there was anything to say that he wasn't going to get back to his best. And the fact that strikers are so difficult to come by and the fact that they're so expensive, I just think from a club point of view, if it was just down to me and the club, I think I'd have kept him till the end of the season. But from his own personal point of view, I can totally understand the fact that he needs to play regularly. He's probably the type of player who needs to be playing regularly for his own good, his own mental health. He's probably someone who needs to play week in, week out, and he's probably been told he's not going to get that at City. He's going to be an impact player till the end of the season. So he needs to go and earn a contract for the next couple of years. He's 35, 36 in October. He needs to earn himself a deal, and from that point of view, I can totally understand the fact he wants to go and play. He goes with everyone's best wishes, and I suppose if he's not going to be happy at City being a bit part player, that understandably leans us to say, well, we don't want an unhappy Andy Cook. We need a fully happy and firing Andy Cook. So what a man, what a player, what a legend, and we can only wish him the best at Grimsby. I hope we bring in a senior striker to replace him, a proven goal scorer, but that'll be expensive, and it remains to be seen whether we'll do that or not. Alex Patterson's gone as well. Alex Patterson played a huge part in our promotion last year. When he's fit, he's one of the best attacking midfielders in League Two. I think he struggled a little bit in League One with the press and the positional side of the game in League One. I think Alexander got frustrated with him, and that's why he didn't make the team, as well as with his injuries. But a fully fit and firing Alex Patterson is one of the best midfielders in League Two, and again, he'll be thoroughly well remembered for his goals last year and the role he played in our promotion. So we wish him all the best too. And he's another one who was out of contract in the summer and has gone and got a longer deal at Walsall. So fair play to him. Brad Holiday, another legend gone. One of the best right backs we've had over the last sort of 10 years or so, up there with your Stephen Darby's for consistency and reliability defensively. Another former player of the year, just like Andy Cook. Another one who was out of contract in the summer. Another one who I would have liked to have kept as backup, but just because he'd proved he could still do it when he's come in for Nerfville over the last few weeks over Christmas and played. But he's probably learned he's not going to be a first choice and therefore needs to go and earn a long-term deal somewhere because he was out of contract in the summer and he's got that deal up at Dundee. Everybody speaks so highly of Brad Holiday, both players, fellow players, fans, coaches, ultimate pro. And I think you can see that every time you watch him play, and we just got to wish him all the best up at Dundee. He'll be missed. The other player who's gone is Tom McIntyre. I'd have had him ahead of Byrne and Kelly in the pecking order at centre half, but Graham Alexander clearly didn't see it like that. He's had to go back to Portsmouth because obviously he needs to be playing in the second half of the season more than he was probably going to be playing at City, and he needs to go out and play and earn himself a deal for next year. So I understand that one as well. Like I say, I thought he'd done all right when he was here and when he played, but he was down the pecking order, so you've got to understand that. Players who've come in, Ashby and White from Newcastle. Ashby done well, I believe, at West Ham as a youngster, was very, very highly rated before he went to Newcastle. Had a few loan spells out, not done great, but been a regular player in the Championship without being fantastic, I believe, at QPR. Needs to focus back on right wing-back position because I believe he's been trialled in a few different positions when he was always a wing-back previously. Needs to focus on that, and I think we'll hopefully see him back to his best, and he should be able to do that with as competition for Nerfville at City. White did well at MK Dons and Crewe on loan a couple of years ago. struggled at Leyton Orient this year, but I believe we've been interested in him before. And if he can focus on the attacking midfield role when he's been perhaps used deeper at Leyton Orient, we can get him back to his best as the competition for Metcalfe and Power, along with Lee in central midfield. So kind of makes sense as a rotational backup option for Power and Metcalfe for me. The other arrival is obviously Sibley. I've spoken about him previously on here. I think it's a fantastic signing, and I'm not going to go into detail on him because I'm already on record about what a good signing I think he is. The other rumoured arrival is Jacob Wheatley from Manchester United. Not done great on loan at Walsall, but and not got a great goal-scoring record on loan at Northampton either this year. But I believe his performances were getting better and better at Northampton, and they're kind of sad to see him go. Physical presence, a real pressing monster from what I can gather. And if he's coming in as a rotational option or a competition for those forward roles, it might end up being a bit of an astute addition. I do still hope, however, that we bring in a proper, proven, recognised striker to replace Andy Cook if Wheatley comes. Wheatley hasn't come in yet. It's not been confirmed. It's only rumoured. I believe he's injured and back at Man United, so maybe that's why the delay is. Perhaps we'll wait until he's fully fit and we can bring him in and announce him. Graham Alexander said there could be more departures and more arrivals. Other players that are rumoured to be gaining interest from people or perhaps leaving are Richards, Byrne, Lee, Kavanagh, Lapsley and Powell. If any of them were to go, they need to be replaced for me. Obviously, there's nothing concrete on those departures yet, apart from Richards perhaps being linked with a permanent move to Crawley. If he was to go, I think we'd have to bring in a defender, maybe not a left wing back, because Tyreek and Ibu Toure can cover that position, but a centre half, especially if Byrne was to go too, losing Richards, Byrne and McIntyre, I think we'd have to bring a centre half in. What do you think, guys? Do you think we've done too much business? Do you think there's too much upheaval to a dressing room that's been really successful? What do you think of the departures and arrivals and potential departures and arrivals that are to come? Onwards and upwards with the West Yorkshire Football Show.